care professional, call the Oregon Optometric Association. Is your eye doctor a member?
Our exclusive Star Wars week, plus Allie and a sexy soap stud on E.T.
Belgrade and much of Yugoslavia lights out as NATO hits a major power plant. In Washington, what's being called the first serious initiative for peace. In Germany, the freed U.S. soldiers come out to wave. And in Colorado, Columbine High School students return to class.
This is the CBS Evening News, with Dan Rather reporting tonight from Belgrade.
Good evening. Tension and fear are on the rise here. NATO has hit a major power plant that blacked out Belgrade and in a large portion of Yugoslavia for the first time. Electricity has been cut off for long periods, water supplies and telephone service interrupted. There is no perceptible panic, and as you can see, the Serbs in many ways are going about life rather normally. But the fear factor has risen. There's an undercurrent of it in the streets and among the citizenry. Large numbers of government officials are believed to have left the city as a precaution during the night. So if Slobodan Milosevic believed that he would get some reward for his release of the captured U.S. soldiers, so far he isn't getting it. Many diplomats and others here believe that Milosevic is clearly beginning to feel increased pressure from the intensified air attacks and is now signaling that he may be ready to deal. But deal what is the question. Russia's special envoy, Viktor Chernomyrdin, is in Washington today with a message about that from Milosevic to President Clinton. More about that later. But first, with news of the released U.S. servicemen, we go to Germany and CBS News correspondent Mark Phillips.
The three former prisoners and their families haven't made any public statements here, but there was a lot of body language in their only public appearance together so far. A father, Chris Stone, holding his son. A son, Andrew Ramirez, being held by his mother. Their condition, not bad considering, but Sergeant Stone is still showing the signs of rough treatment, for good reason. The Serbs had broken his nose.
The x-ray did show that he had a fracture of his nasal bone. It was minimally displaced fracture.
The injuries were obvious in the Serb TV images at the time of their capture, but their commander says the mistreatment didn't stop there.
Anytime you're in captivity, I'm sure there's some duress, and I believe that happened up front during their captivity.
At the time of their capture or in the early stages as well?
Early stages of their captivity.
So even beyond the point where they were picked up, they were still mistreated at the signs
I believe somewhat, yes.
Yeah.
However treated, the freeing of the Americans may be good news for two captured Serb soldiers, who senior Pentagon officials say will probably now be released as well. The Serb and the American soldiers have become pawns in a game.
How they're used, I don't know. I mean, probably used somewhat, but
by him, by Milosevic.
By Milosevic, maybe so. But our concern again was getting our soldiers back, their safety.
Unwittingly, the three now freed servicemen have become weapons in Slobodan Milosevic's propaganda war. Their capture was a severe embarrassment to the military, and their release another opportunity for Milosevic to score points. The Army has claimed back three of their own, but only because their adversary decided there was more to be gained from letting them go than from keeping them. Mark Phillips, CBS News, Landstuhl, Germany.
Now for more about NATO's power plant bombing strategy, we go to CBS News correspondent John Roberts, who's also here in the country.
Belgrade was struggling to get back in service today after NATO took the campaign to a new level, for the first time targeting the electrical grid with what are called soft bombs, which release carbon filaments that short-circuit but don't destroy power plants.
NATO has its finger on the light switch in Yugoslavia now, and we can turn the power off whenever we need to and whenever we want to.
What NATO would probably prefer to turn off is another round of bad publicity. The Yugoslav army claims Allied bombers hit a civilian bus and 3 cars while targeting an army checkpoint on a road in northwest Kosovo, killing at least 17 people. That attack comes just 2 days after NATO obliterated a bus on a bridge north of Pristina. The Yugoslav military says more than 47 people died in that accident. And it doesn't end there.
This is what's left of a part of the town of Valjevo, about 50 miles southwest of Belgrade. The intended target was a pipe factory just beyond this neighborhood. NATO says it was a military target that was making parts for the Army. But at least 4 of those bombs fell on this neighborhood, destroying houses and apartments.
Zelko Masic was at home when he says the whole neighborhood exploded.
Where were you when the bomb hit?
He survived, hiding under the sink in his bathroom. The pipe factory had been hit several times before without damage to homes. This time, more than a dozen were destroyed. 2 missiles that fell a few hundred yards away damaged what the health minister claims was a clearly marked hospital.
If they decide to kill us all, okay, let's kill us. What can I say?
And even as rescue workers combed the rubble for unexploded bombs, the air raid alert went out again. After last night's devastation, the people of Valjevo have no illusions as to what NATO is capable of and what mistakes it can make. John Roberts, CBS News, Belgrade.
The Russian special envoy's meeting with President Clinton late today is being called the first serious initiative for peace. Scott Pelley is at the White House with details.
Late today, Russia's peace negotiator bounded into Washington searching for a compromise on Kosovo. Viktor Chernomyrdin is shuttling between Milosevic and President Clinton. With the pace of diplomacy quickening, Mr. Clinton emphasized today that a suspension of the bombing is possible.
We have said that under the right circumstances, we would be willing to have a bombing pause. But we would need an acceptance of the basic principles and at least the beginning of withdrawal of Serb forces.
NATO has offered a bombing pause before, but Mr. Clinton reiterated today Milosevic must first commit to all NATO demands.
What must Mr. Milosevic do to articulate this clear commitment that you seek? Second, what do his forces on the ground have to do? And how quickly would a NATO bombing pause follow?
We want to be clear that all the Kosovars can come home, that the Serb security forces will leave, that we will have clear and unambiguous evidence that a withdrawal is underway, and that the other conditions I mentioned in terms of self-government and especially the international security force have been accepted.
This evening, the Reverend Jesse Jackson brought a letter from Milosevic to the president, but a senior official here tells us there is nothing helpful in the letter. During his meeting with Chernomyrdin, we are told that Mr. Clinton told the Russian envoy that Milosevic must agree to all of NATO's demands without compromise and must agree to a specific timetable for achieving them. Until then, the president said, there could be no suspension in the bombing. Scott Pelley, CBS News, the White House.
Over the weekend, thousands more refugees poured from Kosovo into Macedonia. Our man in Macedonia is Alan Pizzi.
Throughout the day, they massed at the border and stumbled out of the holding camp, exhausted and dehydrated by the intense heat. Some have been on the run from the Serbs for over a month.
We're just not keeping up right now. We need to send more numbers out of Macedonia as it is because the overcrowding in the camps is beyond our control now.
The sheer numbers finally forced the U.S. and other governments to act. The INS set up 3 tents today and began processing refugees who want to go to the U.S. The Hasholi family reluctantly signed up because they said sharing a tent with 20 strangers is a disaster.
So you don't want to stay in America, any of you?
No.
The children's father was left in Kosovo. He could be among the 11,000 who have been crammed into the already overstuffed camps in the last 2 days alone. But finding missing people is a slow process. So is getting out. First, it's a picture session. Then, forms to be filled out. And, of course, questions.
Is it your desire to travel to the United States? Yes, sir.
In terms of U.S. immigration laws, these people are in a unique situation. Because unlike other refugees, if the Kosovar Albanians choose to go home when it is safe to do so, the American government will pay their way. The Hasholi family got the okay for America today, but their tears were not of joy. How can I go when my father is left in Kosovo, Hannah Mashahi sobs. There was nowhere safe for him to stay. This is one family whose fare back home the U.S. will be paying one day. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Brajda.
I'll be back from here in Belgrade later in the broadcast with a special interview. But next up is Bob Schiefer in New York with the rest of the day's news, including students of Columbine High returning to classes. So stay here with us.
Want to have a better barbecue? Try something new. Bush's barbecue flavor baked beans. Roll that new beautiful bean footage. They're slow simmered in herbs and spices until they're just dripping with authentic barbecue flavor. Only one other soul knows this recipe, and to keep it a secret, he's made a few, well, requests. Anything else, Duke?
A couple of steaks would be nice.
Bush's, our secret family recipe, is baked into every bean. Now in new barbecue flavor.
At LensCrafters, great-looking prescription sunglasses don't have to cost a fortune. LensCrafters can make hundreds of the latest styles with your prescription for only $99, and we'll have them ready in about an hour. Prescription sunglasses, only $99. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Spring is here. Thanks to Thompson's Wood Protector, everyone is getting ready to enjoy their deck, no matter what size it is. Rain, sun, mildew. It's the most powerful Thompson's yet. Thompson's Wood Protector. It never takes a day off.
Can you return things like vitamins? At GNC, you can. Every product comes with a 100% money-back guarantee. We're talking about something you put in your body. If you're not satisfied, we're not either. GNC. Come in. Live well. Does your multivitamin know you're a man? Mega Men from GNC is made especially for men with ingredients like saw palmetto and ginseng that other brands don't have. It's your body. Take what belongs to you. GNC. Come in. Live well.
And good evening from New York. A man was arrested today on suspicion that he is the one who sold the semi-automatic handgun used in the Columbine High School massacre in Colorado. Bill Whitaker has more on that and the rest of the day's developments in Littleton.
Good afternoon.
The announcement came late this afternoon. The man who allegedly sold the semi-automatic weapon, the Tech DC-9, to killers Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, turned himself in to the sheriff.
That is a Mark Edward Manis. He's being booked in as we speak on a $15,000 bond for providing a handgun to a minor.
Meanwhile, Columbine students resumed classes at neighboring Chatfield High.
Don't get teary, don't get teary.
Still, Veronica Nuncio and Brianna Cook can't shake the fear. Veronica was in the cafeteria when the shooting began.
I'm nervous and scared, and I'm still kind of jumpy that I'm going to be looking over my shoulder.
Not all Columbine students were welcomed back. Administrators told friends of the gunman, some of the so-called trenchcoat mafia, to stay home for their safety and the school's peace of mind.
My children won't be going back.
Michael Scholes, father of slain student Isaiah Scholes, says he fears for his surviving children.
Evidently, the schools is not set up to do what they need to do as far as security to protect these children.
So that someone's held accountable for his son's death, Michael Scholes is suing the killer's parents, the school, the gun makers, and sellers. Jeffrey Feiger, Dr. Jack Kevorkian's former attorney, is representing the Scholes family.
And we have apparently some neglect or failure to act on the part of school authorities and the police when they knew or should have known what was happening.
Investigators say they have no evidence a third gunman assisted Harris and Klebold. Still, the Scholes and their attorney maintain others ultimately share responsibility for this tragedy. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Littleton, Colorado.
And on Wall Street today, barely a month after it broke the 10,000, the Dow shot through another barrier today, surging 225 points to close for the first time above 11,000.
Have you seen these specialized blends of herbs, vitamins, and minerals from One A Day for things like tension and memory? 9G? No. So the next time life is pulling you in different directions, help your body help itself with One A Day specialized blends. They're just what you need to feel your best.
3 minutes from now, a heart attack victim will be rushed into this emergency room. Medication will be injected. IV fluids will be needed. The patient will be protected from infection. Breathing will be assisted. And one more life will be saved.
Mrs. Hanson? Yes?
Hi, I'm Dr. Moore. Oh, her husband's doing fine. Oh, I'm so glad.
Thanks to advanced medical techniques and a material we call plastic.
You didn't save me any?
There wasn't enough.
Quaker Toasted Oatmeal Squares. You haven't wanted a cereal this badly since you were a kid.
Soccer or football? Which is safer for our kids? The answer might surprise you. And last night it was the toys, tonight it's the music. Where can you find the Star Wars soundtrack? Tonight at 6.
The Columbine High School shooting has parents all over America talking about their children. In a CBS News poll, 3 out of 4 parents said they could definitely tell that their child was alienated and depressed. Most others said they probably could tell. Well, tonight, Elizabeth Caledon begins a special Eye on America series, Your Kids, What You Don't Know.
Have you had suicidal feelings before?
It's become a more common question at the teen line in Los Angeles, where the call rate has doubled since the shooting in Littleton, Colorado.
Overwhelming number of the kids that call here feel kind of outcast in some way. Not that they are outcasts, but that the way they're feeling.
It's an age-old adolescent complaint, but many teens say the struggle for belonging and a sense of self is harder these days. Some can relate to the sense of alienation that drove Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold to kill.
I don't condone what they did, obviously, but I could see why they did what they did to that extent. If they were that alienated, I guess they figure, if I'm going to die, I'm going to take a bunch of kids out with me.
Psychologists believe that children are subjected to increasing academic and social pressures today. For some kids, the stress transforms typical alienation into something much darker, depression.
In many ways, this is a public health crisis.
Dr. Peter Jensen of the National Institutes of Mental Health says as many as 5 to 10% of children suffer from depression. Because it is often overlooked, only 1 in 3 kids gets help, and left untreated, depression can lead to suicide.
In the instance of suicide, for example, we know that many of those children were indeed, most of those children were indeed depressed. And had we been able to get to those children before, many times we think we could have averted a crisis.
Eric Harris was reportedly taking antidepressants, but whatever treatment he might have been getting wasn't enough to stop him from killing others and evidently taking his own life.
This particular death spiral kept going and going and going, and no one stopped it.
Family violence expert Richard Gellis believes the shooting spree was the result of a free fall from depression, beginning with alienation, ending in suicide.
They were non-entities. The worst thing that can happen to a 16 or a 17 or an 18-year-old, or actually any human being, is to feel they don't exist.
Not all childhood depression explodes into violence, but it's not a stretch to imagine how it happens.
Nowadays, I think kids can be more cruel, and so a lot of students in turn build up a lot of anger within themselves.
The key for parents is to pay attention, to recognize when garden variety teenage rebellion develops into total detachment, turning the once unthinkable into something we're now struggling to understand. In New York, I'm Elizabeth Caledon for Eye on America.
To find out more about depression in teenagers, we spoke today with our CBS News medical consultant, Dr. Bernadine Healy of Ohio State University. We asked her what specific warning signs parents should look for in their adolescent children.
Well, there are several specific things. One is a child's habits change. For example, their grades deteriorate. Social withdrawal. They feel like outcast. An outgoing child suddenly feels solitary. Evidence of drug or alcohol use. Signs of sadness, crying, irritability, no joy, no feeling, talk of death or suicide. And Bob, boys are more apt to react in a hostile and angry way, whereas girls, more sense of worthlessness and sadness.
And what can parents do?
Well, they can do a lot, and the most important thing is to encourage expression and listen to your children without being too judgmental. Not always an easy thing to do with teens. Connectedness to a caring adult is critical. And secondly, of course, if you detect something or the school detects something, you must get help.
Dr. Healy, thank you very much. And our special Eye on America series continues tomorrow with a look at how much parents know and don't know about what their children are doing.
Little sister, I admit it. I was snooping in your medicine cabinet last night. Any surprises? You switched to X-Lax. Yeah, Correctol works with an artificial chemical. X-Lax works with natural senna. Very effectively, too. You tried it.
Today's gentle X-Lax is the only laxative with the X-Lax Morning Guarantee. 2 out of 3 users agree. It's dependable overnight.
X-Lax, what a find. What a snoop.
Today's X-Lax, good morning, guaranteed.
What's in your dream home? Beautiful new floors? How about a different look for the walls? Or new window treatments? Fantastic colors? With countless choices, thousands of options. If you can dream it, you can do it at the Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
Chevy Tahoe, like a rock. Announcing a new way to see, near and far, the way nature intended. Introducing the revolutionary AccuView bifocal contact lens with pupil-intelligent design. New AccuView bifocal. Visit your eye care professional or call us for more information.
Grand cinnamon rolls from Pillsbury.
They're ready.
The most enormous, ooey gooey, luscious.
Should we wake the others?
Let them sleep.
Grand cinnamon rolls.
They're not just big, they're grand.
Michael was charged with murdering his sister Stephanie. He says he's innocent. Then why did he confess to the police? An all-new 48 Hours, Thursday.
Near the peak of Mount Everest, a team of American climbers is claiming an amazing discovery, the body of a British adventurer who may have been the first to reach the summit of the world's highest mountain. Sandra Hughes reports.
It's a mystery that's been frozen in the treacherous terrain of Mount Everest for 75 years. Did British explorer George Mallory and his partner reach the peak first? History gives the honor to Sir Edmund Hillary in 1953. But 29 years earlier, the two explorers disappeared on their way to the top. This weekend, an American expedition found the body of George Mallory just 2,000 feet from the peak.
Mallory really epitomizes Mount Everest and mountaineering, and finding his body really puts closure on a mystery that has existed for 75 years.
By cell phone from Mount Everest, expedition leader Eric Simonson told us Mallory carried a camera, and if they don't find it, they won't know if he made it. What did you do with George Mallory's body?
George Mallory remains a part of Mount Everest. We buried his body underneath stones and rocks.
Sir Edmund Hillary says he isn't worried about the discovery.
Now, for 45 years, people have regarded me as the hero of Everest, so I've done pretty well anyway.
The world may never know if he got there first, but Mallory still holds a place in history for his famous answer to the question, why do you climb Mount Everest? Because it's there. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And another long-lost piece of history has turned up. At the bottom of the Atlantic is the just-found Mercury mission capsule lost during Gus Grissom's 1961 splashdown after his trip into space. The capsule is so well preserved, you can still read the Liberty Bell 7 inscribed on it. Well, Dan Rather will have more from Belgrade when the CBS Evening News continues in a moment.
Nature made me a person of many parts. Nature made me determined to make all of them last.
And thankfully, to help, they're premium quality nature-made vitamins and herbs, like vitamin E, which research shows can help keep my heart healthy. There's no stopping me, because nature made me.
Do rich people have more friends than the rest of us? Are they more deserving of a comfortable seat? Are they more entitled to brake safely on a rainy day? Are we the only car company that doesn't think so? Century by Buick. Full of amenities for under $20,000. And right now, Century is an even better value. Come in today and get $1,000 cash back on every new 99. Century by Buick. A luxury car for everyone.
When Diane initially came into the office, her time horizon for investing her money was rather short-term. It was right after college. I was going to turn over the money pretty quickly to pay for graduate school. Since then, her objective has changed. I've always had this kind of long-term goal in mind, which is starting my own business. What that means, actually, invest more aggressively because her time horizon had lengthened. She knows herself. She knows her goals. She knows her tolerance for risk. She's learned about the tools that Schwab has to assist her in meeting those goals.
Every second, every minute, every hour. Your plants are nourished continuously when you use Osmocote plant food. Osmocote has extended time-release granules, so just one application, once a season, is all it takes. Osmocote plant food. All your plants need, all season long.
Talk from the very top of Yugoslav power is rare these days. This reporter did have an opportunity for a conversation with someone who's at the right hand of power and is a political power in her own right. Mira Markovic, professor and wife of the Yugoslav president. She said it was her first television interview ever. How does this end?
The decision is not in our hands, but in yours. We must defend our country the same way as all the countries of the world do it. I do not know a single country which would not protect its own territory.
What about the argument, Madam Professor, that the bombing will stop when you, the Serbs, stop killing Kosovar Albanians in Kosovo and stop running them out of their homes, stop killing them?
But they are not killing them. They are not expelling them.
You say that the West and America does not understand what's happening in Kosovo. Is there no ethnic cleansing in Kosovo?
Nema.
No.
Ne.
None?
Ne.
Nikakvog. There are no atrocities committed by Serbs in Kosovo?
Ne.
No.
No, the Serbs are defending their territory.
You cannot be here in Yugoslavia and be among its people without being struck with how dangerous and complicated this situation is. But the message from the wife of the Yugoslav president is simple. It is neither she nor he is about to cave in. And in this, they're convinced they have the support of the Serbian people as a whole, and they still believe that they will win. For Slobodan Milosevic, winning is staying in power and keeping Kosovo a part of Yugoslavia. How and when this may end, no one can say, as another night of bombing gets underway. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting from Belgrade. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.